At 70, Robert lost everything. His retirement savings? Gone. His financial security? Shattered. He was staring into the abyss of a penniless future, wondering if it was too late to turn things around. But what happened next shocked even the most seasoned financial experts. In just 5 years, Robert didn't just recover, he multiplied his wealth. How did a man who could barely use a smartphone become a savvy investor and build a fortune after 60? Robert's hands trembled as he stared at his bank statement, the stark numbers confirming his worst fears. How had it come to this? As a former accountant, he'd always prided himself on his financial acumen. Yet here he was at 70, watching his life's savings slip away like sand through an hourglass. It hadn't happened overnight. A series of misguided investments had slowly eroded his nest egg. First, it was the tech startup that promised revolutionary AI, but delivered nothing but empty promises. Then came the real estate venture in an up-and-coming neighborhood that never quite came up. The final blow was a cryptocurrency scheme that turned out to be little more than an elaborate Ponzi operation. Each loss chipped away at Robert's confidence, replacing it with a gnawing anxiety that kept him up at night. He found himself avoiding social gatherings, embarrassed by his financial missteps. The thought of being a burden to his children in his golden years filled him with shame. This wasn't how retirement was supposed to be. Robert wasn't alone in his struggles. Recent studies show that nearly 45% of Americans have no retirement savings at all, while another 19% have less than $10,000 saved. The average 401k balance for those 65 and older is just $255,150. Hardly enough to sustain a comfortable retirement, let alone recover from significant losses. As the reality of his situation sank in, Robert began to contemplate drastic measures. Should he sell his home and downsize to a tiny apartment? Take on a part-time job as a grocery store greeter? The options seemed limited, and none of them appealed to his sense of dignity or his hope for a comfortable retirement. One sleepless night, as Robert pored over his dwindling finances, a spark of his old determination flickered to life. He'd built a successful career as an accountant by staying ahead of financial trends and continuously educating himself. Why should retirement be any different? The world of investing had changed dramatically since his working days, but that didn't mean he couldn't learn. With a renewed sense of purpose, Robert made a decision. Instead of resigning himself to a life of financial struggle, he would embark on a journey of financial re-education. He would learn about modern investing strategies, understand the new financial landscape, and find a way to rebuild his wealth, even at 70. As the sun rose, casting a warm glow through his study window, Robert felt a glimmer of hope for the first time in months. He was ready to take control of his financial future, but a daunting question loomed. Where would a 70-year-old start in today's fast-paced financial world? "I'm too old for this," Robert muttered, staring at the glowing screen in his hand. Little did he know, mastering this pocket-sized computer would become his most valuable investment yet. As he navigated the digital realm, Robert uncovered a strategy that not only promised steady income, but also challenged everything he thought he knew about modern investing. Robert's journey into the digital world began with frustration. The touchscreen seemed to have a mind of its own. Apps were confusing labyrinths, and the constant notifications made his head spin. But Robert was no stranger to learning curves. He'd mastered complex accounting systems throughout his career, and he approached this new challenge with the same determination. He started small, learning to send texts and emails to his grandchildren. Their patient guidance and encouragement slowly built his confidence. As Robert grew more comfortable with his device, he ventured into the vast ocean of online financial information. At first, it was overwhelming. Financial news sites, investment forums, and endless stock tickers bombarded him with data. Robert realized he needed a system to make sense of it all. He created folders in his browser to organize different types of financial resources. He downloaded a few reputable financial apps and learned to customize their interfaces for easier reading. Slowly but surely, the digital financial world began to come into focus. As Robert's digital literacy improved, he discovered the importance of technological adaptability for seniors in today's financial landscape. Online banking allowed him to monitor his accounts more closely than ever before. Investment apps provided real-time data and analysis tools that were once only available to professional traders. Robert even found online communities of retirees sharing investment strategies and support. His persistence paid off when he stumbled upon a video explaining dividend investing. The concept intrigued him. Companies paying regular dividends to shareholders seemed like a stable way to generate income. Robert dug deeper, using his newfound research skills to explore dividend aristocrats, companies with a history of increasing dividends year after year. The more Robert learned about dividend investing, the more excited he became. He discovered that reinvesting dividends could harness the power of compound growth, potentially turning modest investments into significant wealth over time. This strategy aligned perfectly with his long-term perspective as a retiree. Armed with this knowledge, Robert took his first steps into dividend investing. He carefully selected a mix of blue-chip stocks and dividend-focused ETFs, using his smartphone to execute trades through a user-friendly brokerage app. As the first dividend payments trickled into his account, Robert felt a sense of accomplishment he hadn't experienced in years. The steady stream of dividends provided Robert with a growing source of passive income, boosting his confidence and financial security. He marveled at how his initial struggle with technology had led him to a promising path for rebuilding his wealth. Yet, as Robert watched his dividend income grow, a nagging question persisted in the back of his mind. Could this slow and steady approach truly rebuild the fortune he had lost? The answer, he realized, would depend on his ability to navigate the broader complexities of the market. The stock market has always been compared to a roller coaster, but what if there was a way to anticipate its every twist and turn? Robert was about to embark on a quest that would challenge everything he thought he knew about investing. As Robert sat at his desk, a complex stock chart filled his computer screen. What once looked like an indecipherable maze of lines and numbers now held meaning. He had come a long way from his initial forays into dividend investing. Robert realized that to truly rebuild his wealth, he needed to understand the broader market dynamics. He began by systematically analyzing market trends. Robert learned to identify support and resistance levels, recognize chart patterns, and interpret volume indicators. But he soon discovered that predicting market movements was far from straightforward. The market could be influenced by countless factors: economic indicators, geopolitical events, and even seemingly unrelated news could send stocks soaring or plummeting. Undeterred, Robert dove deeper into his studies. He explored fundamental analysis, learning to scrutinize company financial statements, assess management quality, and evaluate industry trends. He combined this with his growing technical analysis skills, creating a comprehensive approach to market analysis. Robert found that his years of experience as an accountant gave him an edge in understanding financial statements. He could spot red flags in balance sheets that younger investors might miss. This blend of seasoned wisdom and newfound technical skills became Robert's unique strength. As he honed his skills, Robert discovered effective market analysis strategies particularly suited for retirees. He learned the importance of focusing on longer-term trends rather than getting caught up in day-to-day fluctuations. Robert also found value in sector rotation strategies, which allowed him to capitalize on broader economic shifts while managing risk. Weeks turned into months as Robert refined his approach. He set up alerts for key economic indicators and created spreadsheets to track multiple data points across various sectors. His dedication was about to pay off in an unexpected way. One evening, as Robert was reviewing his charts, he noticed an unusual pattern forming in the technology sector. Several indicators were aligning in a way he hadn't seen before. Cross-referencing with fundamental data and recent news, Robert sensed a potential market shift on the horizon. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, Robert made a calculated decision. He adjusted his portfolio, increasing his exposure to specific tech stocks he believed were poised for growth. Then, he waited. Over the next few weeks, Robert watched as his prediction began to unfold. The tech sector indeed experienced a significant upswing, with his chosen stocks outperforming the broader market. As his portfolio value climbed, Robert felt a surge of confidence. He had successfully anticipated a profitable market trend, validating his hard work and newly acquired skills. Yet, as Robert's portfolio grew and his mastery of market analysis deepened, an unforeseen threat loomed on the horizon. The very success that boosted his confidence was about to present him with his greatest challenge yet. They say that true character is revealed in times of crisis. For Robert, that moment was about to arrive in spectacular fashion. With breaking news of a market crash flashing across his TV screen, he was about to face a decision that would make or break his financial future. Would he have the courage to stay the course, or would panic lead him astray? Robert's heart raced as he watched the news anchor describe the market's sudden plunge. The Dow had dropped over 1,000 points in a single day, wiping out months of gains. His carefully constructed portfolio, built on months of learning and analysis, was now under threat. As the market continued its free fall, Robert felt the familiar grip of fear tightening in his chest. He thought of all the progress he had made, the confidence he had gained. Was it all about to slip away? His finger hovered over the sell button on his trading app, the temptation to cut his losses growing stronger by the minute. But even as panic threatened to overwhelm him, Robert forced himself to take a deep breath. He remembered the lessons he had learned about market volatility. Crashes, while scary, were not uncommon. In fact, they were an inevitable part of the market cycle. Robert pulled up historical data on his computer, reminding himself of past market recoveries. After the 2008 financial crisis, the S&P 500 had taken about 4 years to fully recover its losses, and those who had held on through the dot-com crash of the early 2000s saw the market not only recover, but reach new heights within a few years. Still, knowing the facts and acting on them were two different things. Robert felt the psychological weight of seeing his hard-earned gains evaporate. He understood now why so many investors, especially those nearing retirement, often made the costly mistake of selling at the bottom of a crash. As Robert's finger trembled over the sell button, he thought about the power of compounding returns. He had learned that time in the market was often more important than timing the market. By selling now, he would be locking in his losses and missing out on the potential recovery. With a deep breath, Robert moved his hand away from the mouse. He decided to stay the course, understanding that this downturn, like others before it, would likely pass. Instead of selling, he even considered whether this might be an opportunity to buy quality stocks at a discount. As the dust settled in the following days and weeks, Robert watched the market's erratic movements with a newfound sense of calm. He knew that his decision to hold steady during the storm could prove pivotal in his journey to rebuild his wealth. The true test of his newfound knowledge and skills was not in predicting the market's every move, but in having the fortitude to stick to his long-term strategy in the face of short-term turmoil. 5 years after that fateful market crash, Robert sat in his study, reviewing his financial statements with a sense of quiet satisfaction. His decision to hold steady had paid off. Not only had his portfolio recovered, but it had grown significantly, outpacing inflation and providing a comfortable income. Robert's journey taught him valuable lessons. Diversification across dividend-paying stocks and growth companies created a balanced portfolio. Regular market analysis helped him make informed decisions, while staying calm during volatility proved crucial. Most importantly, he learned that wealth building has no age limit. As he closed his laptop, Robert reflected on his transformation. From a struggling retiree to a savvy investor, his story was a testament to the power of persistence and lifelong learning. He realized that financial success wasn't just about numbers. It was about having the courage to keep learning and adapting, no matter your age.